Greetings from Meat folks, Symbian here. This video is going to be about healthy eating and witchcraft. Now, as strange as this is good as sound, the energy that we use in witchcraft doesn't just magically appear and drop down from some spiritual waiting room. We get it from a few different sources. One being the food that we eat and how our adrenals process that energy. Secondly, we get it from the elements all around us, earth, air, fire, and water. Secondly, we get it from our plants that we have around us, our pets if we have them nearby, with permission, of course. But that's basically how we process the energy that we normally would use for witchcraft. Now, I'm going to share a little bit more about me with you folks, just to give you an idea on what my particular scenario is. Firstly, my age. I'm a less than grateful or graceful 59 years of age. And secondly, I have had 3 heart attacks, and in the last heart attack I was surprisingly diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, which means my body doesn't process the insulin that my pancreas makes, so I have to take external insulins, 2 different types, to help the food I eat to be processed into energy. Now, that also ties in with my adrenal glands, which actually sit on top of the kidneys. Now, I'm going to get back to that in a minute. My family history, on my mother's side, going back multiple generations. Let's just take my grandmother on my mom's side for the time being. My grandmother died of kidney necrosis and kidney death. This was well before any sort of kidney dialysis was ever even thought of. Now, from what I understand, genetics like this skip a generation. Well, that's true because my mom never had any kidney issues, but I seem to have inherited them. Now, I'm taking medications to help my body process that. I'm also taking type 2 diabetic medications, insulins, 2 different types, to help process that. Now, witches who are healthy and fully functional, they get the energy around them, they get the energy from the food that they eat, and that's how they process it for working spells and working rituals, and for what I call their own copper top energies. Now, copper top energies for a witch are limited to their ability to cast a circle and energize it, to create a place between the worlds and all the worlds, and hold it open for the duration of the ritual. Now, that's one form of energy that comes from us specifically, from witches specifically. Now, we also can draw down the moon and the sun, the goddess and the god. We can call the elemental watchtower guardians, east, south, west, and north. We can invite our spirit guidance to attend the circle and help channel energy for us. There's a variety of different ways that we can handle this. But if we can't hold open our magical circle and maintain it for the duration of our ritual, there's very little reason to continue. We have to stay healthy enough that we can use our own storage of energies, our copper top energies, to get that going and keep it going solid. Okay. Now, witches get our energy from a few different sources, as I've just discussed. Those sources, out of which those sources are, there are some that are scientifically verified, and others really can't be confirmed, like getting energy from the goddess and God, or your spirit guidance, or even the elementals, even the elements, earth, air, fire, water. Those can't really be confirmed scientifically. But in a fully functional witch, you feel them. You know that they're there because you can actually feel them working. Now, the energy of the food we eat, and secondly, how our adrenals process that energy and make it available for exercise or doing your job, or for witches for casting and working magic. Now, if we have one or both kidneys that are diseased or dysfunctional, it sort of makes sense that perhaps our adrenals are just as dysfunctional. Now, how do we repair that? Well, to my knowledge, there's very limited ways to do that, and most of them are pretty drastic. How do you know whether your adrenals are dysfunctional or even burnt out? Well, it's pretty simple to detect. Think of it this way. Your life is a burning candle. Now, with dysfunctional adrenal glands, at first, when you're first starting working with energy, that candle will burn extremely brightly, but just as quickly reduce to just a miniature flicker, and that's how it stays. That's a sign that your adrenals are either failing or in fatigue, are burnt out. Now, the only way to heal this that I'm aware of is to go on a spiritual retreat, either a professional one that you trust, or create your own. What you want to have happen on the spiritual retreat is that you want to shut down access to any and all of your energies that different things feed upon naturally. As we, for magic anyway, we are a source for the spells that we use, and that actually feeds on our energy. We want to go to a retreat or design a retreat that cuts those channels off completely, temporarily, until we can heal. Now think of it this way. If it was let's say a perforated heart with quite a few different leaks and that type of thing, what they have to do to allow you to survive and repair, they have to temporarily stop the heart and find every single one of the leaks and hemorrhages, seal them up, clean up the area, and cauterize it, and then they restart the heart and check to make sure there's no more leaks. Now that's fine and well and good, but the metaphor for witches and working energy is, well, the mechanics are pretty much the same. You have to stop all external drawings of energy from you, and you have to eat uber healthy to make sure that your adrenals get a chance to relax and slowly repair themselves and heal and get stronger. Once they're strong enough, then bit by bit you can reconnect with your spiritual practices and energy work, and just from that point onwards, never let your copper top battery, your own personal storage of energy, get below a certain point. Now when you feel fatigued and uninspired and don't really want to do anything, that's a sign to you that your adrenals are starting to become stressed and fatigued. So stop whatever you're doing and just work on the body for a while. Just work on getting healthy, eating properly, that type of thing. Now as a type 2 diabetic, it's sort of like a double-edged sword for me. I can't use simple carbohydrates to give myself enough energy to do a ritual without spiking my blood sugar levels way over the top. And now that's risking a whole lot in regards to diabetic coma and that type of thing. So I've got to watch out a little more carefully than the standard witch does, who doesn't have diabetes or heart problems or anything like that. But to get your adrenals functioning again, simple matter of eating energy-rich foods. And all you have to do is do a Google search, and you'll find them all. Energy foods that are high in either complex carbohydrates or for an immediate burst of energy for like rituals. Go for these simple carbohydrates like fruits and that type of thing. So, it's never a good idea to stress your pancreas or your adrenals. But when you're working magic, you pretty much have to. That's what gives us the energy to project a thought form out of the circle and to its target. We need to laser cannon shot whatever we're working on so that it is strong enough that it bursts what is called the cone of power. Now, it doesn't take an awful lot to send the energy out there, but it takes a substantial force behind the energy to actually get it done, so to speak. Now, I'm just checking up on my notes here. Alright, once you get the adrenals healthy enough, and you'll be able to know, because you won't feel as fatigued or as tired anymore. You won't feel drained. Start reconnecting with some of the sources that are supposed to feed off of your energy, like spirit guidance or your connection with Deity, if you happen to believe in Deity, or your connection with the four elements around you. Now, bit by bit you do that. Don't try and do it in one fell swoop, because it'll shut you down again and maybe create more problems than what you originally had. So, bit by bit. Now by that I mean do small little things that reconnects you with your spirituality. Take out your rock and crystal collection and just work on sensing some of their energies. The whole hand test, where you take a crystal and you see if you can sense it. Do things bit by bit, nothing massive. Don't do a full-blown ritual to test your energies. Just some simple things, okay? Send thought forms to your pets and see how they react. Positive, loving thought forms. Share a little bit of love with any plants that you have in the house and see how they react. Little exercises, but also instead of just sending energy out, see what you can do to draw energy in from those sources into your receiving and projecting hands. Hold your hands over your pet and mentally ask permission from the pet to try and help you. Same with plants, same with when you're out doing a walkabout and interacting with the four elements. Always ask permission first. It's always a good practice. And leave yourself open enough so that you can tell an answer when it does come in. Now, you'll get confirmation or denial in the simplest and most symbolic of ways. So you got to be open to catch that as it swings by. And there's no warning. You have to be sort of vigil, keeping vigil for any signs and symbols that come through, either your imagination or when you're in dreamscape. You'll get an answer, trust me. Anyway, this video was far too long, so I'm Symbian. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and share it if you like the videos that I'm coming out with. Eating healthy for witches is pretty important. As a quote from a movie that is sort of synonymous with working with energy, like the breathing. If you don't breathe, you don't live. If you don't eat proper foods that are rich in energy, you can't be expected to do magic at all. Anyway, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.